Welcome to another episode of Soul Sister Adventures with my bestie, Miss Connie Rose.
Hey,
Hey, hey! I love the question that we are diving into with our listeners today. Ladies, would you love to disappear your problems?
yeah.
That sounds like ninja work right there.
Well, in the way this book really is designed, so we're working out of frequencies, right, by Penny Pierce, and each subsequent chapter is really up leveling, right? So it is deep. So like, get ready.
Well, if you can give me the golden ticket to disappearing problems, that sounds
I know.
like a
Yeah,
winning conversation for transformation.
it is. It is. So it's a new kind of vibrational problem solving can make your life easier. Well, a life without problems would do that, wouldn't it?
Would.
Yeah. So seeing yourself as vibrational and working with frequency principles changes the way you arrive at problems, plans, and goals. In this new way of finding answers, you make decisions based on the soul's criteria, not the ego's, and don't depend on yourself alone to make every decision. Huh, like that'd be nice. You no longer define situations merely as good, which is like advantageous, or bad, problematic. In the old way of solving problems, we would isolate a problem, stop the flow, focus all of our attention on making a change into something we like better. We gathered data and opinions, analyzed it all, projected the data into the future, chose and implemented our answer, and then ticked the problem off our list. Done. On to the next one. The old way of thinking about setting goals and making plans involved getting a vision, sometimes inspired, sometimes a smart extension of another idea, and analyzing the steps needed to make that happen. Then we stuck to the plan through thick and thin, using mental prowess and will to power through the problems along the way. We were problem solving and planning warriors. And I'm just going to say, as a side note, and proudly displayed that for myself.
And now
Maybe
for the
everybody
real,
else.
now for the real portion of our podcast.
This kind of rang true for a little bit for me. I don't know if it's ringing any bells for you.
Maybe keep reading.
Uh-huh. So here's the good news. Once your awareness has opened in the transformation process, you see everyone and everything as inside you, in the moment, connected and cooperative. Answers are right there. Resources appear as you need them. And you see how life is always moving towards something better. Problems transform from things that stop your attention to things that shift your attention to a new view. In the intuition age, solving problems means consulting with the energy flow and the collective consciousness to see what happens next. Making decisions means choosing what resonates with your home frequency and the frequencies of your relationships and group involvements. Goals, plans, and strategies aren't carved in stone, but are part of an organic, constantly evolving holographic movie with which you must stay in tune. To plan, you attune to a higher frequency, energy flows, and merge with more complex fields. Then notice what starts to happen in the expanded space. Their criteria for finding upscale solutions that resonate at higher frequencies become much more about whether a result frees the flow of the soul, works in harmony with frequency principles, and produces experiences that are not just win win for two sides, but win, 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 which you and I talk about a lot, benefiting everyone involved.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So finding your destiny solves the soul's only quote problem. Before we explore the frequency principles behind problem solving and planning in general, let's look at the soul's only quote problem and the strategy for its solution. The soul's problem is this: how do I help you shift out of separation perception into the experience of unity? It is the experience of separation that causes problems, after all. So when the soul's problem is solved, it eliminates all the other problems. The soul's solution to separation is to demonstrate unity. This perception by revealing your destiny and helping you live it fully. Your destiny is your highest frequency life, where you discover your unlimited talents and you get to do what you most enjoy. With destiny, you experience harmonious energy flows, perfect timing, and how the oneness provides for you and guides each step you take. Problems become messages from your soul, and problem solving simply becomes living. You realize that life is working perfectly to bring you exactly what you need, that trying to control the future is a waste of time. The more you become your soul, the more your life becomes your destiny. I love that. When you do what you're built for, you experience destiny, and that precipitates an experience of unity. Your destiny, as you come fully into it, makes you feel that you've been given your most cherished dream. You mean I get to do this? Problems? What problems? I get to do this. You soon see that the hidden purpose of all problems is to correct misperceptions, clear your view, and lighten you up so you can live your destiny. So if you help your soul solve its only problem, it will solve all of the rest of yours. Isn't that great?
Absolutely beautiful. And it really it accentuates people stepping into their purpose, passion, and calling. And when you do that, the universe aligns to have that come forth for you.
Yes.
And yes, problems begin to disappear, and things become easy, graceful. And I think your perception shifts also. Like if we like as we see a problem, we see it as an expansion versus a problem, right? Like it's really here to serve us.
It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity to have a clearing.
Yep.
For what's really available and possible.
And remind you of who you are and
Yeah.
what you get to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are there exercises or anything for this week?
Well, it talks, yeah. Well, so there's some ways we transform the way we see problems. So your soul creates situations so you could learn from direct experience. I love that. I'm going to say that again. Your soul creates situations so you can learn from direct experience. It doesn't actually care about having money, for example, but about the experiences you create and the lessons you learn by having or not having money. When you notice,
We should say that again.
okay, your soul does not care about having money, for example. It only really cares about the experiences that you create and the lessons you learn by having or not having money. When you notice a problem and look inside yourself, you'll see that you've stopped your own energy flow. Why? Your soul is indicating something you haven't fully experienced or a place where you have a misperception about the way life works. Most often, a problem is pointing your attention to an experience you need to have. So instead of looking for a strategy or action that will change the problematic situation, try relaxing into the situation to see what your soul wants you to notice. So when your mind stops on a problem, pay attention to the following things as you look for a solution. Number one, reframe the problem so you see it as helpful. So really, we're seeing these situations as a function of the soul, right?
Yeah.
Versus like there's something wrong.
Yes.
Yes. Number two, your problem is really a question. The question helps you discover and experience your soul wants you to have.
Mm,
Right?
yeah.
Which is a totally different like pair of glasses that you're looking at it from, right?
Yes.
So here it says number 3, solve. There's more. I'm just going to go to the highlights. 3, solve the problem internally first in your imagination. 4, once you have the internal experience the problem was pointing to, then the external physical problem may resolve quickly,
Yeah.
which I love that.
Well, that just goes back to like everything is created twice, once within us, and then secondly out in the world. So whether
Yes.
you solve a problem or create something, it's created twice. You got to do the inner before you can have the outer reality.
And oftentimes when we get the to solve it internally, of course the outside's going to shift. That's how it's designed. That's
Yes.
actually how it works.
Yes.
Problem number 5. Problems always indicate a turn of the wave. Remember last week we were talking about the infinity wave, right?
Mhm.
And a new vibration that pertains to your destiny.
Mm.
So isn't that like when things arise and you know it's your destiny calling, it's a different thing than like, oh, another thing I got to deal with. Totally different. Number 6. If many problems occur at once, that sometimes happens.
It does, doesn't it? I think we both had great examples of this.
We have many examples of that. So if many problems occur at once, there's usually just one underlying theme.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. So it's like get curious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the last one is number 7, even very mundane problems, because like there's things that are like problems, like life impacting problems.
I hear
And then
those
there's
problems and I'm like, how is that a problem? Right?
right, exactly. Right.
How is
So
that a problem? That is not a problem. Give me
right.
your
So
problems. Come on over.
so well, so this is saying even very mundane problems contain your soul's guidance.
Yeah, of course.
So like, if you got a problem with, your plants that need watered, that could be a problem, but like look, everything is an opportunity to look,
True.
right?
Yep.
Yes. So, in the intuition age, solutions become revelations
Mm,
of a fuller way of being.
totally.
Problems are simply incoming guidance from your soul
Mm.
and navigational devices that indicate the need for directional shifts.
Yeah, well, it is spirit's way of getting our attention until we do what spirit has set us here to do. I
Yeah.
call it spirit, like spiritual alignment. I mean, plain and simple.
Yes. Like, is it going to take, are you going to get it now? Are you going
Yeah. Or
to
do you need some
now?
more lessons?
Yes. Yeah. Like, are you going to get it now?
Or would you
uh,
like some more problems?
exactly. Yeah. And I love this. We have talked about this a lot. Max Planck, I didn't know he was the author of saying this. When you change the way you look at things, the
Mhm.
things you look at change,
Oosh.
which of course,
Yeah.
so this talks about, so the exercise is think of a project or process you're about to undertake. It might be a trip, it might be the development of a new product, or how you're going to decide which college to attend. That's on here. We know our little tiny MIT's getting ready to go off to college. So it says, go into your centered, quiet home frequency space and bring the entire process from the first glimmer to the final reality into the space with you. It all exists in your expanded self. Part of you has already experienced it. Relax.
Mm. Mm.
That gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, it just speaks to the volume of what's all around us. If we're willing to tune in, to tap in, to take a deep
Yes.
breath, close our eyes, get present to it.
Yes.
All here.
Exactly. So number 2 is feel the energy of the process. Did you read ahead?
I do not own the book. I do live the life though.
Yes. Feel the energy of the process and let your body's truth and anxiety signals show you where things flow or
Mm,
fixate.
mm.
You are sliding along the process like you're floating downstream, experiencing every point along the way. Receive impressions about how the flow modulates as it progresses. Here's where the current slows. Here's where it speeds up. Here's where something gets snagged. And here's where new people and new experiences weave in. Here's where the flow dries up for a while. Here's an event. Here's another bigger event. So you're like, all of this is going on in your imagination. You're paying attention to the flow of the energy. Number
Yeah.
3, draw the timeline like a river on paper. Let it widen, let it narrow, bunch up, smooth out. Indicate different sorts of waves, action, and energy at points along its course. Indicate events as large or small dots. Feel into what might be at the cause of these flow changes and put labels on the drawing, like, quote, argument, or loss, or positive energy, or synchronicity, good luck, or stall or setback. And then the last one is update, re-experience, and redraw the timelines at regular intervals to stay in tune with how it wants to evolve. So upscale, she's referring to these as upscale solutions.
Mm.
Are those that promote the highest level of soul expression for all of the people affected. They are based on the interconnectedness of life and therefore do not take shortcuts to alleviate immediate tension. There's no place in an upscale solution for negative emotion and fear-based behavior, such as meanness, revenge, secrecy, cheating, stealing, or lying. An upscale solution always facilitates healing and truth. It highlights places where there are underlying misperceptions, places where universal principles have been misunderstood, and corrects them. An upscale solution helps important information surface and helps shift the mind from either right or wrong, black or white thinking, to inclusive, more both and thinking, where fresh creative flows are precipitated by considering the paradox and complexity. A upscale solution often jumps up on a level and then eclipses the old model of the problem with a more comprehensive model, like including the solution's spiritual impact, for example. So then it talks about, there's like some questions to ask yourself, like to help you find an upscale solution. And then that's the end of the chapter. So I'm going to finish with this. So to find an upscale solution, ask yourself some questions. So call to mind something that you might be dealing with, right? Because here's opportunity to get on the court, right? Number 1, is this problem the leading edge of a new piece of learning or a new opportunity to grow? What is it trying to contribute to your life or your group's experience? Number 2, if the problem remains in place and the process continues in the direction it's headed, what's likely to happen? If you let the system adjust itself naturally and reorient, what happens? So again, that imagination of it. Number 3, if the worst possible scenario occurs, what do you learn? Do you need to do it that way? Or can you learn the lesson in your inner world with your imagination? Even when there is, quote, failure, how do things reach a positive flow again? Number 4, how does the energy flow want to move things into a better pattern? What super solution is trying to happen independent of your will and good ideas? Like follow the energy, right?
Yeah.
5, what solution has the most deep comfort, joy, and effortless materialization of highest results at the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels for individuals, teams, organizations, clients, community, environment, future generations? What is the best win-win-win snapshot in this moment? Number 6, can the process of fixing the problem be as valuable as the outcome? Because a lot of times, like, there's juice in the journey, right?
Oh, I would say there's always juice in the journey. I mean, if you're really on the path of enlightenment, if you're missing the journey, you have missed the boat.
Exactly. We have 2 more questions. Are you looking, so 7 is, are you looking at too small a piece of the process as the problem area? So can you understand a multi-level, like the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual cause? Like get a bigger view, go up higher, right? We know in NLP, we talk about like, go higher, get a more expanded view. Number 8, this is the last one. When you can't find a solution, can you give the problem to your body and the unified field?
Mm.
Can you ask for help from the unseen realms and recognize insights when they come?
Mm.
I thought that was really cool.
Well, that's just really trusting your intuition, trusting. I mean,
That's exactly right.
all
That
of
is
the
exactly
answers
right.
are already within us.
That's exactly right. Yes. So that is, when you reframe a problem as an opportunity for your soul, for your soul's destiny, like what would you
Well,
rather
not
have?
just destiny, but journey and journey, transformation, then destiny, right? I don't
Yes.
miss any of the pieces in between.
Right. Right.
That's cool.
So it's
You
very
just
cool.
gave a complete pathway from,
It is breakdown to breakthrough.
yeah. So y'all just need to like pause, replay, rewind, go back and listen to about the last 7 minutes.
Yes.
And
It's
you just got a
in,
flow chart. Is there a flow chart?
no, it's just all questions.
Did
It's
you
in
hear the flow
chapter.
chart? I just saw a flow chart.
Yeah. Well, that's yes. It's this journey. Yeah.
And it's using your own intuition to solve a problem of which you thought you had, and the reality is the answer was already lying within you.
Yes. 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 Just like the good witch, you've had the answer all along.
You had the answer all along. Yeah.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that?
So it's on page 204 and 205 in the book. If for our listeners, if
The
they're reading along
questions.
the book, the questions are on 204 and 205.
Well, I look forward to hearing the breakthroughs, the breakdowns, and then the breakthroughs of what our listeners got from this conversation. I know we live this on loudspeaker in our lives, yes?
Yes. Yes. Well, on loudspeaker and in public.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
loudspeaker and on YouTube.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Hmm.
this year is, we have a new year and new opportunities.
Oh my heavens. It is 2024. Welcome.
It is. It's we're on day 9.
We're on day 9. Wow. How do we get here? It's flying already.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anything else?
Well, I just think it's, if we could eliminate even the word problem from our vocabulary,
Well, and
like
I
bringing
think, I
speaking
mean,
into
if we just
existence.
take a deep breath, right? And like you said, go up 360,000 feet in the air. And like when you say the word problem, like we're really just so looking at these minuscule details, right? And
Yeah.
begin to just simply ask yourself, how is this a problem?
Right.
I mean, and it's only a problem, like Connie said, through the filter of which you have been viewing your life or this situation or this person or this relationship or this job or this whatever, fill in the blank.
Yes.
And you got to ask yourself, how is it actually a problem?
Right.
Because it all starts with our thinking. Our thinking creates our feelings create our actions or our inactions, and our actions or inactions create our results.
That's right.
So again, you think it's a problem, guess what? It is.
That's right.
And so Connie just gave you a total flow chart. I gotta go listen to this again and map that one out, but just like, like
Yeah.
for how to solve really almost anything that comes your way. And so that really begins to like unravel for me, like what's beneath that is like, are you a ninja for having and creating a life that you love?
Yeah.
Or are you going to be stopped and stuck by circumstances, situations, conditions? And I think in that moment, we all have a choice. And I get there are some real circumstances, conditions, and conditions. Connie, we know you had more than
Yeah.
your fair share.
Yeah.
And in a nanosecond, it could have stopped you.
And
And
it almost did.
almost did.
Yeah.
And it was through a a vision, it was through work, it was through a community, it was through a commitment, it was through the willing, being willing, having the courage. You saw another pathway. You took a different slot on the flow chart.
Yes.
And because of that opens up this unlimited possibility for your teams, for the companies, that for the people that you're working with, that would have never been made available.
Right. That's true.
There is so much deliciousness in that. And so again, we don't know what you're dealing with as a listener. It may be a significant or not, as Connie's. And if you deem it significant, it is.
Right.
And so we're just really looking to unravel, unhook these paradigms, these thinking patterns
Right.
that in the past, up until recently, have stopped you. And to give you access and tools to new ways of thinking, to give you new feelings that give you access to new actions, which then produce new results. And then you call it a miracle. We call it just doing the work.
Yeah. Well, and it starts with being willing to have a different thought. Like what thought would have what thought about this situation would have me feel better? What thought would have me feel better?
Yeah.
You know, so in my situation with Nicholas, I really got to explore
Yeah.
some things that were like not in my previous reality.
Yeah.
And my spiritual life like blew up in a good way, expanded so
Yeah.
greatly
Yeah.
that there was this whole other realm available that
Right.
I had no idea. And once I was able
I
to
had
tap
no
into
idea it even
that,
existed.
correct.
It was
Because
always within you, but you
yes.
never had to tap into it.
Yep.
And now
Yep.
you did.
Yes. And it made everything else like it was a whole new pathway. It was like the carpet rolled out in front of it when you changed the thought produced a different feeling because I knew I needed to have a higher vibration experience. I
Yeah.
was not willing to I knew I couldn't survive actually here
Yeah.
at that low vibration. I
Yeah.
couldn't. And so to be willing to what's the next thought that can produce that higher vibration feeling
Yeah.
and get curious.
And look at you now.
Yeah. I know. So I did this vision board class on the 30th, December 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been getting vision boards from like my participants, and it's been so much fun. And on Sunday night, I got a text message from one of my dear friends who took the class, and she said she could not attend live. So she was watching the recording, and she says, like, her text was, OMG, I'm watching your vision board training, and I see and feel your joy. Like, you're back.
Yeah.
And I've not been with her, in a lot of different situations. So it had been, it's not like we hang out all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And that's my word of the year. My word of the year is joy. And
Yes.
it's like a very high frequency. And that's where like I'm committed to, like, that's my home frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So if you haven't gotten Miss Connie's
Oh
vision
yeah, the vision
board,
board class. You could get the recording and
get the
all
recording, all the replay.
there's a replay and all the resources, and then you get a little care package that gets sent to your home. And I've also been hearing from my friends who've gotten a little frequency package, and even people who are I know that work with frequencies on a daily basis like I do, they call and like, oh my gosh, this is even cooler than I thought. And it's like I can just feel it when it came in the mail. And so yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So
You mean there's joy in your mailbox?
there, you get a little bit of joy. Connie sends out little packages of joy, literally frequency imprinted joy.
I love it.
So if you want that for $20.24, like that's nothing, reach out and we can hook you up.
We can hook you up. I love it. All right, beautiful listeners. Well, I trust that this message has found you exactly in the perfect space and place that you are, and that you've been hungry for. And it is, like we said, the 9th of 2024. And may your year continue to unfold in the most amazing and magical ways. And it all starts with, like Connie said, changing a thought, the
Yeah.
way that we think, and you can unlock the doors to infinite possibilities. The question is, are you willing?
Just
Yeah.
level up one little thought. What thought can
One
be better right now?
little thought.
There you go.
Beautiful. All right. Like it, tag it, post it, share it, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See
Get
you
in
in
the
the car.